Good evening, everyone. It is 5:02, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. The purpose of this meeting is to gain citizen input on community needs. The City of Urbana is currently in the process of developing our annual action plan for fiscal year 2022-2023. This plan will address affordable housing and community development needs in Urbana over the course of the next year. So I'm going to begin tonight by briefly talking about the planning process and what that looks like for the city. Then I'm going to highlight some of the city's past accomplishments, some of the projects we've completed using HUD grants for affordable housing and different community development projects. So I'll talk about some of the successes we've had and the different types of projects we've been able to fund using those grant programs. Then I'm going to talk about some of the ongoing needs in the community and touch on how these HUD grants can be utilized to meet some of these needs. At the end of the presentation, there will be time for public input. So again, we really are looking for citizen comment on the plan and on how we can move forward for the next year. And then we can also take any questions you might have at that time as well. So the annual action plan is part of the 5-year consolidated plan. Consolidated plan is the framework for a community-wide dialogue to identify housing and community development priorities. So the consolidated plan directs funding from 2 HUD grant programs, the Community Development Block Grant and the Home Investment Partnership Program. So throughout the presentation, you'll hear me refer to the Community Development Block Grant Program as CDBG. So both the 5-year consolidated plan and the annual action plan are developed in consultation with local agencies such as the Champaign County Regional Planning Commission and others, along with nonprofit organizations like Habitat for Humanity, First Followers, or groups like that. We also consult groups such as the Champaign County Continuum of Service Providers to the Homeless, and we also consult you, the public. Data also plays an important role in developing these plans. We utilize census data as well as the annual point-in-time count, which is a survey of individuals experiencing homelessness countywide. So all of that information plays a key role in helping us formulate our plans. While the consolidated plan focuses on sort of that broader 5-year period, the 1-year annual action plan identifies projects and activities to be undertaken by the city next year, utilizing funding from these 2 HUD grant programs that I just mentioned. So taking a look back at the previous years, we can get an idea of the different types of projects the city has funded through CDBG and the home programs. So if we look at the last consolidated plan period, which ran from 2015 through 2020, again, we can get an idea of the work that has been done. So through the home program and also CDBG, we have funded affordable housing developments such as Crystal View and Highland Green. And we've also undertaken infrastructure programs such as the Kinch Street Lighting Project and the Dr. Ellis Subdivision Curb Improvement. These funding sources have supported tenant-based rental assistance programs as well as down payment assistance programs. Other projects that we have funded using the CDBG and home programs include our home repair grant programs. So as you can see from 2015 to 2020, we funded 38 repair service programs, 17 emergency repair programs, 12 whole house repair grants, as well as 15 accessibility grants. And all of those programs are geared toward low to moderate income individuals in our community. We also funded 26 blighted property demolitions and funded a consolidated social service funding program, which supplied funding to various agencies that provide services to Urbana residents. Since July 1, 2021, we have funded 5 home repair grants, although I believe as of today it's 6. We have started an energy efficiency grant program in partnership with Ameren. We sponsored a neighborhood cleanup day in September. And we also started a down payment assistance program for low to moderate income households that are interested in purchasing a home in Urbana. And then back in November, we launched the city's youth services grant program, which provides $100,000 to agencies that provide community-based solutions to Urbana youth. So we're really excited about that program. Despite all of this work that has been done, we acknowledge that there are still, needs in the community, especially around issues like affordable housing. Now, these numbers are taken from statewide statistics, but I think they do paint a picture of the situation here in Champaign County as well. So as we can see, 68% of low-income renters in Illinois are considered to be severely rent burdened. And what that means here is that to be severely rent burdened means you're paying over half of your income toward rent every month. In order to afford a modest 2-bedroom apartment in Illinois, renters need to earn over $22 an hour, and that would be working full time. To avoid being rent burdened, renters would need to work essentially 2 full-time jobs at the current minimum wage rate. But affordable housing issues don't just affect the rental market, but also, homeowners or potential home buyers as well. As you can see here, statewide, the median home value is over 3 times greater than median income. And 28% of Illinois homeowners are considered to be cost burdened. What that means is that they are paying 30% or more of their income on mortgage payments, property taxes, utilities, or other housing costs. And we see that these affordability issues cause a racial disparity. 75% of homeowners in Illinois are white and only 38% are Black. But we also know that affordable housing isn't the only issue in the community, but also public infrastructure. We've heard a lot from Urbana residents about the need to improve street lighting, walkability, increasing and improving sidewalks in our neighborhoods, and also drainage issues. So with all of these, issues in mind, let's talk about sort of the expected resources that the city will be receiving in fiscal year 2022-2023. So we are expecting to receive about $500,000 in community development block grant funding for FY 2022-2023, and about $175,000 in home funding. So with those numbers in mind, I'm going to talk just briefly about each grant program and the different types of projects and programs that are eligible under each. So the Community Development Block Grant Program, which again is a HUD program, provides pretty flexible funding that can be used for a wide variety of affordable housing and also community development activities. So you can see here, CDBG dollars can be used to fund public services, rental assistance programs, public facilities or improvements to public facilities, but also the removal of slum or blight, and also lead-based paint remediation activities. The Home Investment Partnership Program is a little bit more restricted in terms of the types of programs that can be funded. It focuses more on affordable housing projects. So for example, you see housing rehabilitation programs, down payment assistance, rental assistance, construction of affordable housing, or construction of special needs housing. Public participation throughout this process is really important for city staff to understand the needs in the community and to be able to direct these funds where the public thinks they are most needed. So all citizen comment provided at this or any other public meeting will be included in the final record and will be sent to HUD along with our completed report in May. So you can see here we've just started the public comment period, which started on Tuesday, March 15th, and will run through April 15th. We really want to ensure broad and inclusive participation. And so we have been holding meetings with neighborhood groups and other interested parties as well. We've also been holding public hearings as part of the monthly Community Development Commission meeting. And you can see here some of the groups in the community that we've been consulting and seeking input from, including the Human Services Council of Champaign County, the Continuum of Service Providers to the Homeless, the Community Reinvestment Group, as well as I mentioned various neighborhood groups throughout Urbana. So if you'd like to view a copy of our current draft plan, there's a couple different places where it's available. Probably the easiest is by visiting our website. There's a copy of the draft annual action plan there. But if you'd prefer to review a hard copy, there are copies available at the Urbana Free Library and also here at the Urbana City Building, either in the city clerk's office or at the front desk of the Community Development Services Department. So we really encourage you to take a look at the plan, read a little bit more about those programs that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, we try to make it as accessible as possible. And again, we really are interested in what the public has to say. And so attend a public or neighborhood meeting. And you're doing that tonight, so that's great. We appreciate that. If you don't have comment tonight, that's fine. As I mentioned, the public comment period runs through April 15th, so you can always call us at 217-384-2447 or send us an email at grants@urbanaillinois.us. And again, any comments we receive will be included in the final annual action plan that we submit to HUD. So that concludes my presentation. Again, there's time now for public comment. We would love to know what needs you see in your neighborhood and how you think these funds could be used to meet those needs over the next year. So thank you so much for attending. And with that, I will stop sharing my PowerPoint. And I believe you should be able to, you can unmute yourself and provide comment or, pop it in the chat. That should be fine as well. Eldress, I see you have your hand raised. You can, unmute yourself if you'd like to comment.
Which Eldress?
Melinda Carr, is that you?
Yes. And my hand is up?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was going to raise my hand, but I realized it was up now. But so I guess the first thing, so I got the email, but we didn't get information on the agenda on, like the PowerPoint information on what we were going to be talking about. It would have been nice to have that ahead of time so we could look and then kind of have some questions that we can think about before. I know we have time to look at it, but it was kind of a short notice. I didn't know exactly what it was because I hadn't gotten this before. There was something, we live in the Dr. Ellis, and of course, some people don't have email, several people. So I know in the past, there was mailing sent out for, I guess our area would be like a target area, I guess. And I don't think there was anything in the past that was sent for people to know about things like this that are happening. So will something else be going out, a mailing or something to let people know besides the email? Because I'm assuming, I'm not sure, because I listen in on council meetings, so I'm sure that's probably how my email was gotten, was included. But how are other people going to be included in the public hearing process? So that's one question. And there was something about Dr. Ellis. It went kind of quick, and somebody was trying to call me at the same time, so I missed that. What happened? What kind of accomplishments that Dr. Ellis, that's what I want to see, because I don't know if that's on the website. Would that be included, or is that more detail that you pulled out, that we wouldn't be able to get that off the website?
Well, what I mentioned was the Dr. Ellis curb improvement project that we did a couple years ago. I was just referring to past projects that were funded with this home funding, so that's why I mentioned it.
Okay, the curb improvement. Okay, I didn't hear what it was. Okay, yeah. And I guess another thing then that's matters. So there, you mentioned some of the other entities that are providing, housing opportunities for low or moderate income individuals or families, and what other, opportunities or projects. I know, like the Habitat mentioned, of course, First Follow is doing a great job and trying to reach out. And the opportunities for other, those who are willing to maybe, like Habitat is more of a program, where they reach out and people are able to build new homes. They reach out to families, and families have to provide, work as part of that project of the home building process. And for example, if a family, if a parent or someone doing that may not be able to do that, but they want to buy a home, say if they got sick or something, some other types of programs where in other areas, I'm saying whether it's a lot of the homes for Habitat are in on the north end, but I'm sure there are other areas where maybe there are homes that the down payment program is that for any home. For example, that's for any home where someone may own a home and they want to reach out and provide a home for a family or something like that. Is that down payment process or assistance for any home? So more information about that, and then I'll stop there, because I probably would want to read the document and get more information. But those are some things that I have questions about.
And just to clarify, are you asking a question?
I was asking a question about so there was something on the PowerPoint about the down payment assistance program, right? So that would be for someone wanting to purchase a home. I know that there's housing needs for people, of course, who may not be at that point where they can purchase a home, and so they'll be renting or getting rental assistance. So I'm talking about purchasing a home, someone, a family or individual that's in a low income range, but they want to purchase, so they need payment assistance. So that program you mentioned, how does that apply to someone wanting to get a home other than a Habitat home?
Yes, so there is information about that on our website. Again, I encourage you to read the plan. So if someone is income qualified and they reach out to their bank, we can work with them to set up a down payment program. That is something that we do offer. So it could be any house. It depends. It has to be within the city of Urbana, and their income needs to qualify. So that's kind of how that works, if that makes sense.
Okay, so it has to be through their bank. I was thinking some kind of assistance that Urbana provides.
We do. The Urbana does provide the financial assistance. And they need to be working with the bank throughout that process. So, and we're happy to, if anyone has questions about that, they can email or call us, and we're happy to walk through that process. But that is something that we provide through our HUD funding. So that is an opportunity if individuals are interested in looking into it.
Okay. And then the marketing, I guess, how this information is getting out to others. For example, I know the neighborhood lists are we don't really, I mean, I haven't gotten it out. I haven't gotten this through a neighborhood listserv. So I think I was reading that was part of the outreach. So more of the wider outreach, and maybe I can offer some suggestions. But yeah, I can see a need for a wider outreach of the marketing process. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I see Evelyn Underwood. Would you like to come off mute? Your hand is raised. Brema, could you allow her to? There, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, somebody had me muted.
Yes, thank you. We can hear you now.
Okay, so who's muting and unmuting people?
We have our wonderful UPTV helping us out tonight. So they are trying to just, manage that. So I apologize that you were muted, but we can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Belcher, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm Reverend Dr. Evelyn Underwood. I don't know what it says up there, but I hope it says Reverend Dr. Evelyn Underwood.
I apologize.
And listen, sir. Now who's on this? We usually be able to tell who are the people on this. Is this just for the Dr. Ellis subdivision or the King School or what?
No, ma'am. This is a general public meeting for anyone in Urbana is free to attend.
Okay. All right. Now, when are you going to have those community meetings you're talking about? You said you've had some of them already since the March 15th.
We presented, I believe, back in November at the Dr. Ellis subdivision meeting. As I said, and I can maybe go back to that slide, but throughout this whole month, we're trying to, provide opportunities for the public to have input. And this recording will be posted, and so we encourage people, if they weren't able to attend tonight, we'll make sure to send out this information so that they can watch back and email or call us.
Yes, but see, you guys are not. Is there a targeted area now? The CBDG. Remind me what that means again, sir.
That's the Community Development Block Grant Program.
Okay, and is that a targeted area for that program? What areas are targeted?
Well, so there are targeted areas for certain programs, but the CDBG program, I mean, anyone in Urbana can provide input, if they, those services can be available to anyone. But, for example, the housing repair grants that we do, that would be only for people who have a certain income, but they could live anywhere in Urbana. That doesn't have to only be a certain neighborhood.
So anymore, because there used to be targeted areas. Because I was in on this a lot, because I remember not this last go around, but the one before that, when I ran for mayor. I was the only one came to the meeting, and y'all hadn't reached out to anyone else. And last year, the last go around ended in 15 to 20. I remember someone asking them to come to the Ministerial Alliance. And the Champagne person and Miss Dodd both attended the Ministerial Alliance, and everything was already set. And the ministers had a lot of church members at their church, and they hadn't heard anything about their members finding out what's going on. So seemingly it's been y'all decide what y'all want to do, and y'all go ahead and do that. And the city council just go ahead and agree with it. We haven't had any say on anything you present. But let's go back to your how many people on here? How many people on here? Can you tell how many people on here so I can see how much time I can take?
It looks like there are 8 people on the call right now.
And how many minutes? How long do we go?
The meeting goes until 6. We don't have a limit on public comment.
Okay. Now, you said, I think the home program, the people you try to seek information from is the Community Reinvestment Act. Is that federal act? And do they have members now, or are they just people at the banks who who you're seeking information from? Who are the people in the Community Reinvestment Act program are you seeking information from, sir?
So it's the Community Reinvestment Group, which is made up of the designated, lenders who deal with those programs.
Yeah, but so now they don't have. See, Busa Bank used to have a group. I was on that group. The other banks who were federally funded banks had groups, but now I understand. So you're right when people telling me now that it's just those lenders, they meeting monthly. They're not trying to get information. See, when it started out in the 80s, when John Lee Johnson had the federal government to start that program, they had community people who were a part of the program, who gave the banks ideas on how they should do lending processes. Now it's just an in-house group. So if you're not trying to get information out to people and trying to get them, the banks are certainly not going to do it. Because the reason John Lee Jones was able to get that, because the banks are not lending to any, just like a church just got turned down, within the banks are doing whatever they want to do. So if your group, this CBDG, the city or somebody's not leaning on them and trying to make them make home ownership accessible to all different kinds of people, races of people, and all, then we can forget it. That used to be, from what I understand, there were targeted areas in CBDG. Now I know that home program is a county. I think Urbana is the administrator, right? But Champaign and the county and all of that are involved in that home project. But you said that the $175,000 we get is for Urbana only?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, so that would be for us in Urbana. And the CBDG, that 500, did you say 500,000?
That's the expected number. HUD has not released the final number, but that's kind of what we'll update it when we get the final amount, but that's what around that is what we're expecting, yes.
Yeah, and you mentioned RPC, Regional Planning Commission. Regional Planning Commission can't take care of their own business. But they're trying to take care of the business of Urbana. Just gave them a contract, giving them $400. I think they're gonna get $400,000 or more to roll out that off program. And then now you going to them. They don't have time to take care of their own business. I don't know how you can be getting information from them, and they trying to get information from plain people. I use the symbolism of old Black Joe and Long Tall Sally. That means plain old Black people. Now I'm concerned about brown people too, and others, but I'm just saying the Black people have been the one in Urbana neglected. Our areas have been neglected. Now you said that you had given, and I'm not attacking, but I'm trying to get this in. You said that you had done something in Urbana with those curves and all that. That was the American for Disability Act. That's why y'all had to do that, isn't it? Wasn't that American for Disability Act funding?
A portion of it, I believe, was, and Sheila can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a portion of it was funded through the Community Development Block Grant Program.
And when we followed the money, we found that unless it's a special program or a grant or something, we can't get it. But we taxpayers like everybody else, and they are neglecting our area. Just like when the new gentleman that made the presentation to the city council the other day. Nothing about King or Dr. Ellis. I know Dr. Ellis, there was nothing on that list. Because I asked him for the list and look at it. Just like I would like to have some information on this. What can I get? I'm handicapped, not able to get to those places. Now you say I can look on. I looked everywhere for an agenda or something for tonight. I couldn't find anything but a link. How are we going to get to the people as community leaders so we can help them to help themselves? We want to stop this gun violence. I don't see. I want to see something in the plan that's going to help stop it. But when I see the people you are reaching out to, um, and, now the homeless, I don't know too much about that. What that group is, but I know Danielle has been getting a lot of money for the homeless people and trying to get the shelter and all of that. And I did listen to the city council meeting, the last meeting, and they were talking about uh, and maybe I'm making comments rather than would you put up that home thing and then so I can see those groups that you are getting input from right quick because I can't put that up. Would you please, sir?
Yeah, and that's not a total list. I was just using examples of, again, we try to get very broad participation from citizens, of course, and also from agencies, whether it's First Followers or whoever that's really doing a lot of that work in the community. They use First Followers and throw that around First Followers, but they can't get but $20,000. It's a shame what y'all doing to them. It's a shame the little bit of money they're getting. I just talked to some people yesterday at the doctors. People asking me, how can they get? I said, go to First Followers. They're going to help you get. People are coming out of jail unable to get this. First Followers can't do it all with that little bit of money y'all giving them.
Hey, Dr. Underwood, this is Sheila.
Yes,
Hi, Dr.
ma'am.
Underwood, this is Sheila Dodd. And
how you doing, Miss Dodd? How you doing, Miss Dodd?
I'm doing well. These programs are really challenging. I'm going to speak to you and the previous person to really get the word out. Since I started at Urbana, it's just difficult. The last 2 years we've had COVID. So I guess what I would ask is please share our email address, please share our phone number, and encourage people to call and tell them what it is they need in their community. So for example, when I was at Habitat, I did a lot of work in your neighborhood. So maybe your sidewalks need improving, or maybe you need streetlights improving. So anything that you need, just have them reach out and let us know, because that helps us set priorities. To answer your question on the targeted areas, CDBG does have target areas that we typically use that identification for infrastructure. The CDBG program requires us to either help a low mod household, a low mod area benefit, which is kind of that targeted neighborhood that you're talking about, or a low moderate income person. And so we work in coordination with RPC on our senior repair program. So if somebody needs a front door replaced, or they need their kitchen faucet fixed, and they're senior citizens, we can work with them to help get that done. If you need accessibility repairs to your house, we can work to help you get that done if you guys meet our income guidelines. And unfortunately, as much as Brayden and I would love to help everybody in Urbana, those program rules are given to us by HUD. So we have to follow, as you know, what we're required to.
Yes, I understand you have to follow the rules. I understand all that. I've been with this long enough to know. But I'm saying who there is reaching out to these people, trying to help them, just like trying to help them go through these processes. They need to hire. And maybe if they get that person that Mr. Thompson was talking about the other day, who will focus on looking at the neglected people, like the African Americans in this community, and the brown and homelessness and all of that. We need somebody to focus on these people and look into getting them to help, because they're not being helped. That's why we have gun violence, but they blame the victim. They create the problem and then blame the victim. You tell me one more thing, and then I'm through. How can I get this information where I can get? Will you be meeting with the Ministerial Alliance? Will you be meeting with?
I would love to. I would love to meet with the Ministerial Alliance. Thank you. 2 years ago, you connected me with them. The city is going to open up to letting us have regular meetings again post-COVID. And so I could meet with them in April, and I'll bring my Champaign counterpart too, like we did the last time, to to hear what your guys' needs are. That was a great opportunity. The other
But
thing I
it was
wanted to
their
mention to
members.
you,
It was their church members. See, that's what when you get to them. But I don't have, the new president is Reverend James Fielder.
yeah,
He's the new president, Reverend James Fielder, United Methodist, and
yeah,
the second, the vice president is the Bethel AME pastor, Pastor Terrence Thomas, and you would have to go through them. But the thing is their members. Is their
right.
members that they can help you get to if you don't wait until the last minute and have everything all taken care of when you get there.
No, well, that's not necessarily true. We don't have everything taken care of. We have a draft.
It was mostly taken care of. It was
No,
mostly
we have a
all
draft
set
now.
that y'all was. I had it already ready to go when y'all reached out to us. For us to give the input to what y'all had decided on, and rather than letting us be a part of the process and listening to us, well then we listening to you guys. You listen to us, and then at the last minute you have your 2 minutes to input to us. Try to find out how to get to our office and how to call us. That's what happened with regional planning. They didn't do nothing to help people until Miss Wu said at the city council meeting, she said they need probably a phone number. They had got a dedicated phone number for people to call. Now how can they roll out anything for everybody when they don't even know how to get in touch and help the people who they need to be helping? And just like what the people were saying with Habitat for Humanity, why can't they get some of the houses in the white community? Some of the black people don't want to live in the black community; they want to live in the white community, but they can't give them a chance because they want to get all the houses that we have here. And there's some people wanting to buy houses, but the city buy them and then give them to Habitat for Humanity for $1. That's not right. That's not right. Well, do something in the white community so black people can live out there, go to church out there. Then we won't have many of these problems. I love living in the black community, but some people do not. But why can't they get one of those houses? Why can't they do some houses out in some of those other areas?
You'd have to ask Habitat about that. But I did want to make another comment too, is on Tuesday evening, we have a Community Development Commission meeting, and you're welcome to invite people to come to that meeting to give input on this as well. We are trying to be creative and reach as many people as we can to get input on what they see as needs in their community. That's the best that we can do. I know that we sent this information out to Braden can answer, but I bet you over 500 people on listservs, and we got 4 people attending. So, I'm always looking for ways, and so is Braden, on ways that we can reach out to people. When we met at Dr. King's school, and we had 15 people there, that's because we went to a meeting they already had set up. But with COVID, a lot of those regular, normal community meetings just haven't happened. So anything you can do to help us get the word out, we're happy to work with you on.
Is that police group that meets at King School that meet with the police and the people from that goes to Orchard Downs? When we used to go to the meeting, they used to, it was mostly focused on. So maybe if you had some plain community people there, that's different than what had happened in the past. Generally, those meetings are attended by the police and the people from Orchard Downs, and the like, and maybe 1 or 2 people from our area.
Right.
But did you have a lot of people from the plain community when you met in November?
We did that in conjunction with the comprehensive plan, because we found that doing the meetings together, we were able to reach more people. And we did have people attend that meeting and talk about what they needed in the neighborhood. Like I said, we're just trying to be as creative as we can to get the word out with as many people as we can, to have an impact. And, just publicly, I want to say, when we say what we can spend the money on, it's not that we've already decided. It's sort of letting you know what the parameters are of the funding, because we'd love to be able to spend $1 bazillion, but we don't have that, and we're limited to what we can spend it on. So Don't think we have a preconceived notion. We're just saying this is what things can be used for.
So maybe we could say something just like Evanston. Evanston, I don't know if you know about Evanston, but they have CBDG fund, and I know because our organization that I'm a national member of have been able to get something from them. And from what I understand, the city is working with them on reparation. Do you know about that with the housing?
I do not, but I will reach out because I would be curious as to what funding they're using, because that's certainly something we would be interested in helping the city get funding for. I'm sure it's not,
yes.
Right. I'm sure it's not these two pots of money, but these aren't the only two pots that are out there. So, yeah, I will definitely reach out to Evanston and see. We do work with a lot of communities trying to be creative and see what they're doing and if it's something we can do in our area too.
Yes, because I think they one of the things when if you find out, I certainly would like to know more because they're supposed to make another presentation, and I was going to get on, but they have not done that yet. But the last presentation that I was a part of in Evanston, the cities, the universities, and all was working together to try to help that, especially the African American community. So thank you.
Thank you. And then just a reminder here, these are where you can view the draft plan if you would like to. So I don't see any other hands raised. So with that, we will conclude the meeting. Again, I encourage everyone, if you do have comment, you can give us a call at 217-384-2447 or send us an email at grants@urbanaillinois.us. So thank you all.
Is it 6 o'clock already?
It's a quarter till.
Okay, well then would you put that up since nobody else want to talk? I would like to see would you to put that up for me so I can see the home folk that you were doing as well as the CBDG committees that you was working with. And now who's on the commission? She was saying that they're gonna meet Tuesday night. Who are the members of the Community Development Commission?
Yes, we do have a Community Development Commission. The commissioners are all their contact information and all of their names are on our website. And we meet the fourth Tuesday of every month, and those meetings are open to the public, of course. And we have been holding them virtually, but starting in April, we will be holding them in person in the city building.
Do you have any African Americans on that committee?
We do.
More than Reverend the United Methodist pastor?
He is a commission member. We're seeking new applicants because we have had a couple people leave the commission just because of other commitments. So we are currently looking for anyone in the community who'd like to serve on the commission. They are more than welcome. There's information about it on our website.
And tell me how to get to your website, because as I said, I tried my best tonight while you getting those two informational pieces up for me. Oh, you got one of them up? Okay. While you getting those two information pieces up, how do I get to your website? Because I did City of Urbana. I tried community development, then I tried grants management, and I didn't find anything.
What are you asking about specifically? The
how to
Development
get to your
Commission?
website? How to get to your website is something I'll be able to see. Does it say community development or does it say grants management?
Yep. So if you go to Urbana, Illinois, all one word, .us, that's the main website. And then if you go on the top, there's a little tab that says, I believe it says government. If you go there, you'll see a tab for the Community Development Department. And so you can go to the Community Development page and find a lot of great information. On that page, you will see there's a little grants management section. And so the grants management section has some more specific information about the home and the CDBG programs. And that's where we post our draft plans and things like that for people to review. The information about the Community Development Commission is in a little bit of a different place. If you go to urbanaillinois.us, on the main page, you'll see a little tab that says boards and commissions. And if you click on boards and commissions, and you can scroll down to Community Development Commission, and you can find all of our meeting information. We post it there, notices of every meeting that we have, as well as the different agendas that we post and the information of our commissioners that are serving.
Thank you. Hopefully I be able to I'm going to have my grandson help me go through it, because I think I got a PhD, and if I'm just, I wonder what those people who don't have no degrees, if they try to get to this, maybe they know more about this than I do. I sure hope they do, to
Absolutely.
try to get to it.
And like Sheila mentioned, it's been challenging during COVID because we've really had to do everything online, which I know that not everyone, online's not the easiest for everyone. But thankfully, in April, we're going to be going back to in-person meetings. So like I said, the Community Development Commission will be meeting in person the fourth Tuesday of every month, starting in April. And we meet right here in City Council chambers, and that is open to the public. And so hopefully that'll, once we start kind of going back to normal life after COVID, it'll make things a little bit easier to get out into the community and get some of this information out there.
Okay. So that focus and interest group, that's which one is this under now that you put this up for? Focus and interest group, Human Services Council. I don't know about that council. Continuous service providers to the homelessness, and I heard of continual services, whole group, but I don't know if they're even meeting anymore. That was Champaign County, I thought. Community Reinvestment Group, and I know that is dealing with those bankers. That's internally, isn't it? And what is this last one? Neighborhood Group. Is that like WUNA and SUNA and all of those folks?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so ours would be that police group that meets over at King Schools, right? That kind of meet with the police and all of that. So we would have to get several groups or something together, the Dr. Ellis or the King Committee or something, or maybe, I don't know how we would get together and meet. So, but this one here, 30-day public comment period, March 15th to April 15th. So these are the groups here that which one is this under? Now, is that under home, or was that under a CBDG?
This is for both. For both programs, okay. We're trying to get public input. And these are not all of the groups we are trying to talk to. Again, this is just examples. And I will mention the continuum of service providers to the homeless is still active. It's comprised of 45 agencies that provide direct services to homeless individuals in the county. So we are able to get a lot of great input from those frontline people who are working with homeless individuals and finding out about what their needs are. But as Sheila mentioned, if you want us to come to King School or come to this police group, please reach out. I can put our contact information back up there. Shoot us an email or give us a call. We're more than happy to come out and talk to any group that's interested in listening to us.
Yeah, no, I don't know who sets that. I think I don't know anything about that police group. Maybe somebody on here now from this area might know about that, but I haven't been to any of those meetings since they became unwieldy, because it was just dealing with that problem that the Archer Down people might consider, rather than the people who actually live in the King School area. But maybe things have changed now. I haven't checked with the people who used to be on it. I don't know who's on it now. But anyway, there might be some groups that once I try to get over there to take a look at what you guys have written up and see. And Miss Dodd said she would get back with me if she checked with that Evanston, because I know that program, those programs are pretty viable that they have up there in Evanston. Thank you.
Thank you. And then there's one more question from Melinda Carr. She has a question about the title of the current draft. Could you possibly come off mute, Melinda Carr, and explain what you mean by that? The current draft is the fiscal year 2022-2023 annual action plan. So I hope that clarifies. I'm not sure what your question is referring to. Could you maybe come off mute? Does that answer your question? I think she might need to be promoted in order to take herself off mute. But the current draft that is posted on the website is the fiscal year 2022-2023 annual action plan. And so that's from July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. All right, well, just lastly, I will, oh, there you go, Ms. Carr. Did that answer your question?
I was just looking on the website, and yes, I think it's the draft City of Urbana and Urbana Home Consortium Annual Plan FY 22 through 2023.
Yes,
is that
that's correct. Yes, that's the plan. I apologize. Yeah, it has a little bit of a longer name, but that's the one. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so again, thank you all for attending. Again, just before we close out, I'll put up our contact information here. We appreciate everyone who has provided comment tonight. And like Sheila mentioned, we on Tuesday, the 22nd, we are having a meeting of the Community Development Commission. It's at 6 p.m. This time it will be on Zoom. The Zoom link can be found on our website. But starting in April, those meetings will be back in person. So thank you all, and I hope you have a great night.